This show is brought to you by HostBaby.com, web hosting for musicians.
Here on episode 53 of Music Marketing Monday, I grill Billy about something I just discovered, how he's been using Craigslist. That's right, that site where you sell your used toaster or whatever. He's been using it to book gigs, and he's being successful at it. I've never heard of this. I am dying to find out how he's using Craigslist to book gigs. Oh, man. Get ready. Pull up a chair. Here we go.
Information, inspiration, motivation for the modern musicpreneur.
Time to start your week right.
Here it comes. Music Marketing Monday with your host, Bob Baker,
Mr. Buzz Factor,
and Billy Gryzak.
The Music Marketing Mind.
Ready? Are you sure?
Set.
Here it comes. Swing, baby.
All right, here we go. www.craigslist.com. Okay, let's see. I'm in Wisconsin. Okay, what do I need? Let's see. I need to find a pet sitter for my dog. I need to get a new toaster. I need to get some new vintage Star Trek collectibles. Oh, yeah, and I need a gig. That's right. I need a gig. So let's do that right now. Hey, wait. I forgot it's podcast time. Hey, this is Billy Gryzak, the full-time working musician, and that guy over in the corner right now, typing feverishly, trying to find some really good collectibles is...
It's Bob Baker, Mr. Buzz Factor, with my oral sounds of typing.
Okay, then.
In other words, I did it with my... Never mind. It either sounds like a newsroom or I'm frantically typing on Craigslist.
So we'd like to welcome all our new listeners and everyone that's decided not to listen to the show today. Thank you so much.
You need to stop saying that.
I'm sorry.
It's entertainer. They're smiling. They're like, this is awesome. I'm on the treadmill and I'm being entertained while being educated. I think we're doing a great public service here.
This is true. Anyway, so yeah, Bob, you heard of this Craigslist thing?
I have, and I've used it successfully. I've sold an old oven. I saw, I think, a dryer. Yes, so it's been very helpful. But gigs, never in my life had I thought that you could book paying gigs through Craigslist. But you somehow, in your infinite wisdom, have figured this out, right?
Yeah, and I'm willing to share it with you all for the low price of $49.95. No, wait, no, $29.95. No, wait, only 3 payments of $9.99. No, this is free, guys. This is totally free information because we're here to help, man. No, seriously, Craigslist is more than just a place where you can buy and sell things and people put up creepy personals. There's more to it than that. And
so you can put up creepy gig-getting ads too, right?
Absolutely, man. Yeah. So what I did was I found what I think is becoming a little-known feature of Craigslist called Community, and I'd like to talk about that today and how I've actually turned that into paying gigs. So basically.
Yeah, so I mentioned at the beginning that I was going to grill you about it. So you want to treat this like an interview where I pose questions and you answer them, or how do you want to handle this?
Yeah, Bob, you're a professional interviewer, so I'll be the interviewee. Hello there, Mr. Baker.
Hello, my guest today is Mr. Billy Gryzak. He's a full-time musician from Wisconsin,
and I'm not sure whose voice I'm doing, but it sounded pretty good, didn't it?
I love that, man.
Like the Nutty Professor, if anybody remembers Jerry Lewis. Never mind, old reference. So I think we did lose some people there. So anyway.
Positive thoughts. Positive thoughts.
So my first question is, whatever possessed you to try to use Craigslist to get gigs? I assume, like a lot of people, did you use it for other purposes prior to that? Did you maybe see another band doing it and, oh, that's a good idea? Or just in your creative, what was the originating thing that happened that caused you to try it?
Total desperation.
Hey, that could be a motivator.
No,
man.
I'm serious. I mean, it was like, I decided to go full time again, like crazy, and you need to pay the bills. I don't have a day job, So what I do is I had to figure everything out. So, back in the old days, way back, I remember putting ads like in classified sections of magazines and things like that, or even the local entertainment papers. New band, book dates now, kind of thing. And I thought, hey, Craigslist, that's basically the the new millennium version of the classified section of the newspaper, right? So
Yes.
I did some investigating, and I thought first, I'd look under musical instruments and see if there was a way to maybe post some ads there, but that didn't look too good. And then I found this little thing on Craigslist called Community, and if you go to Craigslist and pick your city you're in, because Craigslist is basically a bunch of sub sites that's for each state or each country, state or province, and then city. So find your city that you want to start with, and you'll see this little block that says community with a bunch of things under it, like activities, artists, child care, local news, blah blah blah, and then you'll see one that says musicians.
And usually, I mean, if you go in there, you'll see things like guitar lessons available, or you see somebody.
Right. Well, this isn't right.
Yeah.
This isn't typically where people sell stuff, because you still in the sales section you have musical instruments for sale, and that's where you would buy your musical instruments. But what people do here, like just looking at the Appleton, Wisconsin one, for instance, I'll just pick a few here. Like one says, looking for drummer and bassist for my band, right? Seeking metal bassist and guitarist, drummer needed, fiddle player wanted. But then you see things like this one here. This is actually what got me thinking about putting like basically advertisements up. I started noticing venues putting things like pianists needed for piano bar. And there was one, I don't see it anymore here, but it was like summer festival, city of Waupun needs acts for shows, pays this much money. So the musicians community section is like a great hodgepodge of musicians looking for bands looking for musicians, and in some cases venues looking for bands or singles or whatever. Like for instance, here's what says open jam. The people have their open jams, they start posting there, so maybe musicians will show up. Here's what says looking for a band or solo artist for March 6th in Oshkosh. And so
wow.
So very specific,
So my assumption going prior to this conversation with you was that in this section, which I think I have been in, I can't remember but I assume that it would be mostly musicians trying to reach other musicians, guitarists needed.
Right.
I'm looking for a band, I'm a drummer, whatever. And so basically promoting to other musicians
Right.
generally wouldn't be a fruitful thing. But this is a whole, you're opening my eyes to a whole new way. I had no idea that venues were going in here and checking it out too.
Right, that's what opened my eyes when I started seeing like this one here. I'll just click it and see what it says. It says, I'm having a grand opening for my bar, in this town. I need a piano player to play from March 28th, 7 to 10. We'll pay. And for like an hour, he's willing to pay.
Wow, he's paying.
Yeah, well, actually, it's for an hour and a half. He's willing to pay $75, and he has a house piano. So basically, if you play piano, you want to make $75 that you wouldn't normally make just for reading an ad in Craigslist. I mean, maybe that's not enough money for you. Maybe it's great money. I don't know what's great, but it's really, there's an example. So what I did, I figured, well, if there's venues that are actually advertising looking for players, maybe what I should do is I should start running my ads and say, hey, I'm a band available. So I ran this ad, and I'll show you what I did. I put this one in. And I started in my hometown of Appleton, and it basically says 80s pop party band, open dates. And then I put this big, bright, awesome picture of the band, which you see that picture, right? Is that a great picture?
I do. You sent me a link to it. Yeah, it's very lively.
And then it says underneath of it, and I'm just going to tell you what I did. It says Wisconsin's best 1980s pop party band, M80, has a few open dates to fill in between road and tour dates. And then, of course, I did my little marketing thing. Don't book another band, book an event. Bar owners, try an 80s night or an 80s weekend with live music, not a DJ. Dates currently available, and I listed my open dates. And I say we have a few Wednesdays and Thursdays open for deep discounts on our already reasonable fee. FYI, we're a full-time band, no day jobs. Mostly tour the Midwest. We are looking for opportunities to work closer to home. Happy to negotiate a great rate for pro equipment, pro band. Hopefully we can help each other out, sound and lights included. Here's more info, and then I put a little bio of the band and my complete song list. And then what I did was, after I put that up in my hometown, then I spread it out and I started looking on Craigslist for like all the other towns in my area. So I hit all of the towns in Wisconsin. Then I moved to Michigan, and I hit the towns I was willing to travel to in Michigan. Then I went to Minnesota, put all the town, and basically I ran this ad maybe 50 times. And since then, I've been booking jobs. And I gave
you have some sort of a quantitative. How many that you have?
Well, I've gotten probably a dozen responses so far, and I just started doing this like last week.
Okay, so this is early in the process.
Yeah. And in the process, I've had about a dozen inquiries, and I've booked, and the only reason I haven't booked maybe all 12 of them was either the price or, more importantly, my dates just weren't open with the dates they wanted. But like, for instance, I gave people the opportunity to text me or email me, and I got this one text, for instance, that says, "Hi, Billy, my name is Mike, and I manage a large bar with 2 outside locations. I'm hoping to put on acoustic solo trios. I think an 80s theme night is great. Would like to talk to you further." And we've been in the conversation, and we're trying to find a date that'll work. Another place contacted me and basically said, "We'd love to have you. This is what we pay. If you're willing to work for this much money, we'll hire you." And what's interesting is this particular band doesn't actually have a video or an audio yet, which is something we talked about in our last show, where it's really important for people to see the band or hear the band. But just haven't gotten around to getting a video or audio done. I've been too busy working just on my reputation. And I've actually, crazily enough, my Craigslist ads were so professional and compelling, and my follow-up conversations with the people was so professional and compelling that they've actually booked the band without even hearing us or seeing us. Wow. So I've booked like Labor Day weekend. I've booked like I said, I've booked probably 3-4 shows.
That's just in the past week or so.
Yeah, just in the past week. Yeah,
that's amazing. So here's a couple of feel free to. I'm just going to ask some questions and take it whatever. But so you've done this in multiple cities. Are you aware of? I know there's a certain rule that Craigslist has for repeating ads. Like it'll run for so long, but you have to wait at a certain time period before you can post it again in the same city. Have you run into that, or do you know what the deal is there?
Yes, actually, what I ran into the first day was that I did it was after I did 20 or so. They says, "Okay, no more posting today."
Okay, yeah.
Wait a while, but then actually I only waited about a half hour, and then I was able to post some more. They don't like you to repeat the posts in the same cities at all, so you basically need to wait. I don't know what the exact time is, but usually what I do is I'm just starting this. I refresh the ads. So if the ad's been up for a week or two, it goes down lower in the list. So what you can do is you can edit your ad and then put a little bit of fresh content in it, and it goes back up to the top and starts the process all over again. So keep track of them. Here's another one. Talk about not having audio or video. I got an email from this guy that says, "Well, hello. You seem to have a large personality. I'm interested in the 3-piece 80s band. We're always looking for new talent. So tell me, so let me tell you a bit about us." And he says he's a bartender at this place, and we start the bands at $300 a night. And if you bring in a crowd, we'll give you more money next time. And he goes on, and it's really interesting. I think that for bands, I want you to hear this. What he says, "We'll start bands at $300. If you bring in a crowd, we make money. Next booking, I can raise the amount. But let's face it, it's all about the money. My boss/owner is most definitely a numbers guy. We typically have the band start at 9." And then he goes on basically to say, we don't mind paying for a band if you're going to make us money. And I think that's really important for people to remember too when you're going in for the first time. To remember that they're in business as well, and it's just not all about you. You know what I'm saying? So, but this guy was really upfront, and he's going to book a date. So I just got this one yesterday, so I'm pretty excited about that.
That is awesome. My wheels are turning from my own activities. Here and experimenting with Craigslist. So it's amazing. So I'm curious, and maybe in the weeks ahead you can maybe ask people. Obviously they're responding to your Craigslist ad, but I'm curious, did they actually go to Craigslist and search within Craigslist to find this, or did they like do a general search on Google and probably Craigslist